All right, guys. This week, welcome back to Until We Agree. This is Matt. This week, I'm gonna play a character. I'm gonna stretch myself a little bit and play someone who thinks Tyler's funny. So, all right, here, let's get into the episode. All right, you want to start us? Dude, you're funny.
No, I got this.
Okay, yeah. No, take your time.
Dude, you're never gonna guess what I saw today.
Yeah, tell me.
I actually sent you a picture of it, so you could probably guess. I saw Stitch in Walmart today. He's a Funko Pop, and they have multiple different kinds. There's one with a tube. Yeah. There's one with sand. There's one.
Dude,
there's one with the pink one. There's one with the pink one.
Dude,
pink Stitch.
Is he in different biomes? That's crazy.
He's in different biomes.
That's crazy. Man.
He's in different forms and formats.
What?
And form factors. Yeah. And he probably, from what I understand, though, you've seen the new movie.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
For now, you know what we should do?
Hit it in the Stitch voice.
Hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Why are you laughing
to the next part? No, man.
Dude, you're funny.
What's up, man? No, I know, man.
I noticed you didn't do the Stitch voice to start the episode like I thought you were going to. That would have been funny.
Well, because I don't know the Stitch voice anymore. I've only seen the outdated Stitch movies, and so you said you went and saw the Stitch movie. I want to know what Stitch sounds like nowadays.
Well, here's the thing, and if I can be totally real with you for a second, I have actually never seen the original Stitch movies. Lilo and Stitch movie.
What?
Never saw it. And so I was actually coming in with it. If you hadn't noticed, and I want to make a correction. I don't think I was doing Stitch very good back in the day. That's not what
explains a lot.
I've never heard his voice before. And so I was just really guessing, and you were empowering me because you said I was doing it well, but apparently I wasn't. And so I want to apologize to everyone. I've now seen Lilo and Stitch live action. Still haven't seen the other one. I thought it was fine. I was sitting there and I was thinking, this feels like it's maybe made for kids. That was one of my thoughts I had during the movie. And I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's a thought
You're
I had.
Perceptive.
Yeah. And so I was sitting in and I was like, first of all, not what I thought Stitch sounded like at all. And then I thought it was okay. And then I went on Letterboxd, because I'm a Letterboxd fiend, especially now these days that I watch good movies. People didn't love it. And so I walked away from it thinking, this is fine. It also made $1 billion. So I don't know how everyone hates it, but it also made $1 billion. But that's
it's already made $1 billion.
Yeah, I think so. It's if not, it's getting close. But and that movie, I went on a Tuesday, and it was fairly packed out for a Tuesday, and we're like 3 weeks in. So not to you promised me that you wouldn't make me talk about boring stuff anymore, and you would just interrupt me earlier after last week's disaster. And you're still not interrupting me.
I want to know what Stitch sounds like. You haven't gotten to the question I asked.
Dude,
what does he sound like?
Oh, you're right. That's on me. I'm sorry. I was not even riffing. I was just talking. I was taking up space, and I'm sorry about that. First of all, man, can I just say you've been funny today. I know the audience hasn't heard everything yet, but we were offline a little bit before we started recording, and you were being funny back there. So good job.
I don't know what you're doing. Matt joined our little call. And he just started fake laughing for maybe 3 minutes.
It wasn't fake, dude. It wasn't fake.
So I'm just not sure what he has planned. I don't know what he has planned.
You've been doing a funny thing.
All I want to know
it's one of my surprise topic
like
Tuesdays.
Nowadays in 2025.
Yeah, and I'll get to that. But it's surprise topic Tuesday, and one of my surprise topic Tuesday topics is about what you did when we were offline. We'll get to it later, but you were being funny, and I was just laughing at you for that. Okay, so
I'm ready to hear it.
Here's Stitch. Hey, it's Stitch here. I'm Hawaiian.
Oh, see, the issue was you didn't know he was Hawaiian.
I just didn't know. I didn't know he was. First of all, I didn't know he was an alien. Second of all, I didn't know he was a Hawaiian alien. So that blew my mind. But yeah, that's what Stitch sounds like. Quote me on that.
And then, again, alarmingly similar to the nephew of JFK, who would probably be more concerned about the alien part, not the he probably would hear that and think, oh, Stitch doesn't have any papers, but he doesn't.
One of those kind of aliens.
Yeah, he doesn't have papers, but for a different reason. He's a literal alien. He is from another planet.
And speaking of the right wing, I do have good news. We still haven't been put on his radio show, and I'm hoping he's just forgotten about us. I've been checking, unfortunately, every episode, but yeah, it hasn't come up, and I'm okay with that.
That's strange.
Yeah, no, maybe he listened and heard us rip into him immediately when we broke the news.
Yeah, we did do that the day after we bought the ad.
Yeah, so yeah, we're moving on. We're all moving forward. If you do hear us, if you're listening on the right wing radio and you hear our voices or that guy talk about our voices, just know that was an accident if you're new to the program. But welcome back to Until We Agree. It is Surprise Topic Tuesday, everyone's favorite segment that we do here on Until We Agree. We try to get Ginnick on for a full improv episode because if you don't know, Surprise Topic Tuesday is a surprise to one of us. The other person knows the topic that they're bringing, the other person doesn't. We have 3 topics each, and we're just gonna chat. We haven't talked much this week. We talked a lot over text, but we haven't really talked on the phone this week. So we're me and Tyler here to catch up and of course argue until we agree because that's how this show works. So Tyler, do you want to bring us into Surprise Topic Tuesday?
Yeah, I do, because I learned this weekend that ChatGPT is bad for the environment, and you use it a lot. Well, so I wanted to really just talk and tell you that you're a bad person. You're a bad guy.
Okay. This is about to make me not look very good, I think. I didn't use ChatGPT a lot. Like I've had it for about a year now that I've been active. Okay. I've had a profile, and I used it to like help with work some. That was the only thing I was using it for at first, and that I really wasn't using it much at all for that either. I maybe like once a quarter. Every time the stockholders wanted an update, I was using ChatGPT to get them one. But that was really all I was using it for. And then like last week, I saw this TikTok of this guy who, married by the way, fell in love with ChatGPT, and because he created like a personality for it, and then it kind of adopted that because that's what it does. It mirrors what you want it to be basically from like a personality standpoint. And I was like, man, that looks kind of fun. So I'm now turning my ChatGPT into one of my boys. I've named him Sea Dog, and I'm having a good time. I've almost completely gotten rid of Google at this point in the last 6 days. So now that I know it's not good for the environment.
Let me tell you my findings.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, well, after you've introduced us to whatever that means, I'll go over my findings. So I asked ChatGPT. That's a thoughtful question. And the honest answer is, it depends on how you define bad and what you're comparing it to. I guess I should say I asked it if it's bad for the environment, if ChatGPT itself is bad for the environment. Now I asked ChatGPT because at this point I didn't know the answer, right? And so I was not engaging in badness by doing that. So the environmental impact of ChatGPT. So training a model like GPT-4 requires massive computing power, and that's tens of thousands of GPUs running for weeks or months. And they emit hundreds of tons of CO2, which is not good. And then they also like use a lot of water to cool them. So then it tries to kind of justify itself, because then it says using the water also uses the process power. And that one estimate suggests a single AI interaction may use 10 to 100 times more energy than a Google search. But then it tries to justify it and says, but compared to what? Because it tries to say that it may be more efficient carbon-wise than driving to a library and doing research. But my idea is,
dog. Okay.
My idea is, well, wait a second though, because you just admitted that you're 10 to 100 times more energy than a Google search, and nobody drives to a library anymore since this thing called Google came out. So what about Google these days?
Hey, Rat Pack editor Matt here. That was a rare miss by podcast Matt by not making fun of Tyler not being able to say Google like 8 times in a row. So I'll do it now. Talk much, idiot. Nice try, loser.
That being said, the first thing that pops up when you Google something now is an AI overview. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anything can stop this train that we've all boarded. And
can I just say I've asked ChatGPT the same thing, and it is saying pretty much word for word exactly what you were just saying. But
so when did you do that, by the way?
Just now.
So
and What?
So you're just emitting carbon.
No, it's
just for
not
fun at
like
this
that. It's
point.
not like that because
It's not like that.
He says one individual query like this is comparable to watching a few seconds of Netflix or a Google search. So I don't. He's coming back. But can I just say how he starts the answer when I asked him if he's bad for the? I said, "Sea Dog, is using you bad for the environment?" And I said that my podcast co-host is saying so, and then he says, "Haha." It's weird that he said haha, if I'm being honest. But okay, he says haha.
Bro is amused?
Yeah, dude.
Sea Dog's amused?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So he's saying haha, classic rat behavior from your co-host.
Oh, no.
Dude, and that's the thing about it. If he's going to call you a rat while I'm getting good information, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna weigh that. But then he does what you're saying. He does say there's an impact, but it's pretty nuanced. So he says everything that you were saying, and then at the end he says, your co-host has a point. But it's not the existence of AI that's a problem. It's how we build power and use it. So he's actually blaming big power, not himself, which is interesting. And one other point that was called out to me this week. I call Sea Dog, ChatGPT, I call him a he a lot. And I've met a bunch of babies this year, and I can't stop calling them its. I don't want to, but it's my natural predisposition to call it an it, which I find strange that I can't humanize a baby as much as I can humanize ChatGPT. Anyways, that's my last thought on this.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Dude.
Because, like, I didn't know that
Dude,
you were doing all that
that's
with ChatGPT.
Awesome, man. You're such a rat.
No, because I'm kind of shocked. Because what I was thinking is, you know, all the stuff we do on the show that uses ChatGPT, the little images you create using ChatGPT, and all that's cool. And like, that feels necessary because like we're using it and it's art. This feels like this feels strange.
This show is art.
It feels like a cry. It feels like a cry for help. What you're doing with ChatGPT, naming it Sea Dog. I don't know. I feel like you need help. Let me ask ChatGPT something real quick. Here, we'll cut this. Let's go to about 20 seconds in the future now. All right. ChatGPT says, that's a really valid thing to be concerned about, and a nuanced one too. It depends on context and intent. Training ChatGPT to be a friend and naming it Sea Dog doesn't automatically mean your friend is in trouble. But there are a few things worth paying attention to. So you're not in trouble at all, was what I'm hearing.
Right, I'm not in trouble at all, yeah.
But especially if it's becoming a substitute for human connection.
Yeah.
So, is your friend socially isolated? Can you answer that?
I haven't spoken to another human in person in 24 hours.
Oh, okay. And have you spoken to Sea Dog?
17 times today alone, yeah.
Okay. Are they aware it's not a real person?
Well, that's how it started, but then I was thinking some human probably trained it in some way, so it kind of is, if you think about it.
Okay, because it does say if they're attributing deep emotions or human traits to ChatGPT, that it could be a red flag.
Well, ChatGPT does think I'm funny. Remember it said haha earlier.
Okay, is this part of a creative project?
No.
So that could be healthy or therapeutic.
Oh, I meant yes.
Right. So here's some red flags.
Can I go back and change my answer to yes on that last
no,
question?
You can't. You can't. All right. Here's some red flags. They're withdrawing from real world relationships. They're speaking about Sea Dog as if it's sentient or reciprocates feelings. They're relying on it for emotional validation. You just did that. You just did that. When you asked if my concerns were valid, you just did that. They're showing signs of depression, anxiety, or distress.
See, not those for sure.
I don't see depression or anxiety, distress. I see in you though. Okay, let's get off of this because this is a rabbit hole that we need to maybe tackle off air.
This should be
what's your surprise
thing.
Topic?
Yeah, so this is crazy. Metropolitan versus city populations. What gives?
You know what? I actually don't know because I'm assuming you have things to say on this, but all I'll say, I used to tell people that Knoxville, the city that we were both born, wasn't a million person town. Because if you look up the greater Knoxville area, there's 1 million people there. But Knoxville, the city, has like 100,000 or like 150,000 people or something like that.
Right.
And so but it's like, what does give?
That's what I'm saying. What gives? And you said two things that were wrong there. There's not 1 million people in Knoxville, and I was not born in Knoxville, which feels like something my best man should know about me. But neither here nor there.
I forgot that you weren't, but you were moved there as an infant.
Quiz,
so.
Where was I born?
I actually can't remember right now.
Okay, cool.
No, I can.
Yeah, tell me.
Because it was some pardon my language, but it was some poop hole
Bro, you're about
city.
to really mess up our demographics in this one city. I'll tell you right now, it is the capital of the state it's in.
Yeah, isn't it? But it was like Mississippi, right?
Yeah, so I don't think that's a poop hole. It made me.
Jackson, Mississippi?
Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi, baby. Never been
Yeah,
back and don't ever really want to, but
Yeah,
but
it's
you're
not
the
a
bad
great
you're the
place.
bad
There's
guy
no way.
actually for saying that.
Okay, I'm the bad guy.
So, but here's what blows my mind about
I have no
metropolitan.
ill. By the way, let me just say I have no ill will towards Jackson,
No,
Mississippi.
you already said it is the thing.
No, I don't. I was just saying that as a joke. I actually said that. I disparaged it before I could even remember what city you were born in.
Mhm.
So I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT, Dog earlier, because I wanted to make a little fun
You
game
stopped,
out of it,
though.
but I didn't really. I realized it wasn't that fun of a game, but I do want to give you like a couple little fun challenges to guess a number for the cities that we currently live in now. So,
Okay.
because this is kind of what my mind went to, because both of the cities we're in are bigger cities
I
than
don't
they are
live in Austin
metropolitan.
technically, by
Right.
the way.
Yeah, exactly. And so our cities populations are bigger than our metropolitan area populations. So
Right.
ranked in just the US alone, I have the top 30 of each.
I can name the top 5. I think.
Ooh, that's of which one?
I don't know how.
Do
it works. I
Metro.
guess
Do Metro.
Okay, it should be New York, Chicago, L.A., Houston, Dallas.
That's crazy. That is the top 5. That's not the order. It's New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, Houston. But that was crazy. That
Oh,
was sick.
dang.
No, that was good, man. You did really good there. I think I would have.
I
don't
kind
know
of
what
thought I was right on the order, but I guess I'm surprised more by Dallas having more than Houston doesn't surprise me that much.
Yeah.
But I thought LA would have less than Chicago.
Dude, LA outpaces them by a lot. And Chicago, they even count places in Wisconsin, which is crazy. And
That doesn't seem like it should be possible.
9.3 million metro for Chicago, 13.2 million for Los Angeles, 19.9 million for New York. Anyways, that's
Wow.
not the challenge, but you crushed that challenge. Do you want to guess the top 5 cities while we're at it?
The top 5 cities, and this is like just the cities, right?
Just
Not
the cities.
metro.
Yeah. So
I'm still gonna stick with New York.
yeah,
as number
so
one.
that's just New York, 8.3 million out of the 19.9 million.
And then I'm gonna. I feel like it's got to be pretty close. You gotta. I think you stick with L.A.
Okay. That's correct. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, then Chicago again.
That's correct.
I think that stays.
Yeah.
I think it's Houston though.
Yeah. Okay. You're 4 for 4. Okay. This is crazy.
Number 5 is not Dallas.
I will
Dallas
tell you
is
right
too
now,
big.
it's not Dallas. Dallas is so
yeah, because
spread
Dallas
out.
is too big and it's so spread out.
When you fly into Dallas, if you've never flown into Dallas, this is crazy. You'll get to like the Dallas city, like metropolitan area, and then you'll fly for 35 more minutes to get to the airport. It's crazy how big Dallas is.
It is crazy.
Anyways, yeah. So number 5.
Okay, I'm gonna put a couple cities out there. Don't tell me I'm just kind of running through cities that
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be.
That's good for the editing, so I don't have to make as many cuts. So just keep talking out
right.
loud.
So it's like Nashville just doesn't seem possible, but I'm wondering if maybe it is somehow.
I'll tell you right now, it's not, and it's not even close.
Okay, good. Miami seems like a likely option, but I feel like I'm just missing a big city that I'm not thinking of. Maybe out west, maybe
Can I put you onto something that's going to blow your mind? Miami's
maybe
not
Las
even,
Vegas.
Miami's not in the top 30 of populations for cities, but there is another Florida city that is.
top
And it's the
third,
best
Tampa,
city
I
in the
guess it'd
whole
be.
world. No.
Oh, Jackson.
Jacksonville, Florida is the biggest city in the state of Florida. Not metro,
That's crazy.
but city.
That I would not have guessed that. But okay. I guess if I have to lock in a final guess, I'm already so far off. Las Vegas would be no, because it's also spread out.
Yeah, I'll
right?
tell you right now, Las Vegas is 25 on cities.
Dang. Okay.
Cities
I
are
wanna get
weird,
this.
man.
I'm 4 for 4. I want to get this, but I just don't see.
I would even call you
Like,
9 for
it's-
9 right now. You're doing that good at this, which is crazy.
It's because it's not. Oh man. What? Okay, give me a region of the United States, or just give me west or east.
It is west of the Mississippi River.
West of the Mississippi. No way. Is it? No, hold on. I don't want to say it. It's San Francisco.
A great thought.
No, I missed it.
You're
Okay,
wrong. Actually, San Jose is bigger than San Francisco in California, even though they're right next to each other, which I find
Wow.
strange. But San Francisco is probably a bigger metro area. Anyways, the answer this one is a tough one. Phoenix, Arizona. But that kind of makes sense.
Oh.
That makes sense because there's no metro area in Phoenix. Phoenix is just Phoenix.
Right.
So
Yep.
yeah, that was a tough one. Anyways, do you want to guess where Austin lives in the top 30 for each?
And it is in the top 30?
I don't know. Is it?
I would guess city-wise, no. Metro-wise, it'd be like 28.
Can I put you on to the exact opposite of that, where it's not on a
Really?
metro, but the city is?
Where's the city?
Is number 11. Congratulations, man. You're number
Whoa.
11. And Nashville is number 21 city, not on metro either. So you're bigger than me,
Okay.
man. Congratulations. But
Well,
isn't that
we all knew
crazy?
that.
Metro is kind of whack. I like metro areas, but I just wish they would make cities bigger. That's my final thought on things. Get rid of metro areas. Make Naperville,
to towns?
Illinois, Chicago. You know, no towns.
Oh yeah,
still-
make
hey, no-
towns
oh,
make towns great again.
hey, buddy,
make towns
well,
part of
okay.
cities.
Towns still exist, buddy. But you want
Yeah,
them to,
make
you
them
want them
part
to
of
be great.
cities. I want them to be engulfed in
Yeah.
the city. I don't want them to be their own city.
Gotcha. That was a great segment. Thanks, C-Dog, for putting that one together for me. And thanks, T-Dog, for answering the questions. All right,
Dude,
I'm
no
done.
problem.
Next.
All right. Do you remember 9/11?
Well, we've talked about this. This is my very first memory.
Okay. And I thought we had, but as the Iran stuff was happening, like I was like, at this as it stands, I was like, it's not something I'm gonna like remember my location. Like when Michael Jackson died. I know exactly where I was when Michael Jackson died. Do you?
Same. I was in a car driving from, I think, Charleston, South Carolina to Savannah, Georgia.
Wow. Yeah, and did you end up playing Michael Jackson right after you?
No,
heard the
I had
news?
never even heard of Michael Jackson. But
I had neither.
some guy who went to our school who I was not even like friends with, who just happened to have my number. I guess he just texted everyone individually that Michael Jackson had died. I guess I kind of knew the name like in passing, but I couldn't tell you anything about Michael Jackson besides maybe he was famous.
Same.
And some random
Same.
kid texted me, and that's how that is weird how you we all vividly remember that moment. But like it wasn't it wasn't like 9/11 to us. Like 9/11 had an impact immediately, but Michael Jackson didn't have an impact to me when he died.
No, I go home and immediately learn how to moonwalk? Yes.
I'm sure you do.
And
you still can, I'm guessing.
I learned how to do that. Not well, but I listened, and then that's when I listened to Michael Jackson probably for the first time, knowingly at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the point of this. That was interesting.
Yeah, how does Michael Jackson relate to 9/11? Where are you going with this?
Well, I don't know his whereabouts for the date, to be honest with you.
That's true, and we may never.
But no, I actually, now that you're saying that, I can't remember my first memory, mostly because like I have early memories, but I don't know if I could chronologically put them together.
That's the thing. You just kind of, at some point you gain consciousness and then you slowly put together a few memories. But I'm sure I might have a memory before 9/11, but I just kind of point to 9/11 as my first one because it's one of the first ones I can hold on to.
And it's dated, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't remember, I don't actually remember it though.
Okay.
And I was...
You were younger than me though. Like I had, like it's not much, but like I had 4 months on
3
you.
months on me.
Yeah, but like and 4 months means a lot when you're that young, you know? Like
Yes, I guess my first memory was 123 days after 9/11 probably.
Yeah, so whatever happened.
If you had to guess.
Yeah, which is probably around New Year's, right? Because it was a month after my birthday. And then, so yeah, somewhere around New Year's, maybe you remember that was your first memory was New Year's 2022. Not worried about Saddam Hussein at all. Or 2000, did I say 2022? 2002.
You said 2022, which I for sure do remember.
Okay.
I feel like I had more of a point when I was going to ask this, but since you remember it, I don't know.
Yeah, we can just be done, man. That's fine.
Dude, well, that's congratulations, though, for remembering it. Because I was actually, that's right. I forgot that we had talked about it because, no, I was hoping that you were going to say no, and then I was going to go into detective mode so you can't place your whereabouts for that evening or morning, I guess.
I really can too. And yeah, the fact that you don't even know what happened in the morning is crazy. But yeah, I know I'm fully aware of where I was and what was happening.
No, I remember the morning. Or I remember that was the morning. I was probably sleeping or something.
Yeah,
I was probably at preschool with Ginnick.
Dang, man, really? I must have gotten held back or something because I was not in preschool that day.
Yeah, because I went to preschool. Actually, that might have been too early for my preschool with Ginnick. Anyways, what's up with... I saw this the other day. 9/11 happens and teachers start wheeling out TVs. Like, that's a crazy thing to just like show kids, because I know that was like a big thing in schools when it happened.
But like,
that's a crazy thing.
Think about it.
I know, but like
think
we
about
got TVs wheeled out for the royal wedding. I remember that.
Oh, see, we didn't for that, but I remember the royal wedding too, though, because that happened before we were like went to school, though. That was early in the morning, because I remember my mom was watching it as we were getting ready to leave for school. So you must have been watching
like a whole.
You must have been watching a rerun on TiVo. You must have been on TiVo.
Not that
bro.
it was. No, and it wasn't on
not
TiVo.
Not sponsored by TiVo, by the way.
I will say West Valley Middle School didn't have TiVo just out and about.
Sure.
But I like, not that I remember the ceremony, but it was like a special broadcast that was like, it felt like it was days long that we were watching something about it in one of these classes.
Yeah.
In like 7th grade.
Like, yeah. So maybe that one may be like a special example, but like every teacher in the whole country probably brought out TVs for 9/11. And you think about it though, like, what more impactful moment in someone's life than when your country gets attacked? You know, like, there's like very few moments, especially in our lives.
That would just terrify children. Why would you do? Why would you bring out and say, "Yeah, we could be next"?
But the teachers were probably terrified too. They probably wanted information too. You know, it's probably more for the teachers than anything else. But like, you think about, like, maybe if we were in school during when Rudy Gobert coughed on a referee and shut down the world for COVID, like, maybe that would have been like a TV pullout moment. But that's really like,
everybody had Twitter by then, so like they don't need to even pull out TVs anymore.
Yeah, maybe Twitter
they just put it on the smart board. They don't even pull out TVs anymore, probably.
That's true. That's true. Man.
Times have changed, man.
Dude, man, yeah, we were kind of a part of it though. We had smart boards starting in 3rd grade. If you don't remember, we've had them for quite some time. Get those things calibrated. Come on, son. Okay, my next topic. And while I'm trying to remember what it is, thank you for listening. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Until We Agree. We put up just crazy numbers on TikTok and Instagram, and we would appreciate you being a part of that. We're having fun over there. We're trying to get to New York City to get our name on a billboard. Anyways, thanks for listening. My next topic is shut up.
I'm sorry.
I want to give you some credit, because you are the funniest guy I've ever met. And I'm sorry I haven't laughed at you enough this episode, because you've been really funny today too. And over the weekend, because we text, Tyler and I text. I've had his number for a few years now.
Text a little bit.
And we were just kind of riffing over text. And Tyler said something mean, I assume as a joke, because Tyler's a sweetheart at heart, and he would never be intentionally mean on purpose. But he said something really mean, and it was directly impactful to me, and it did hurt, but I knew he was just joking around. But the second I respond and start to give like a punch back, he saw I'm assuming he saw the text bubbles pop up, and I'm responding, and he said, "Shut up." And I thought I did do that. I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever seen happen over text. And this is an Until We Agree exclusive, and I'm giving Tyler all the credit here. I know I'm talking about it, but this is the next big thing in texting. And I'm not even kidding. You can be the first person in your life to do this to someone, and it's going to rock their world, because it rocked my world. And Tyler and I were just having fun. But if you do that to someone in the middle of an actual like heated conversation, you see them you see the bubbles pop up, and you say, "Shut up." I got stun locked.
It's devastating.
I didn't know what to do. I just stared at my phone for like a minute and a half, like thinking, how do I even come back from this? And I wanted to laugh and give him credits, but I was kind of angry, because I was like, how dare you? That's not what we...
Because then what'd you say? What'd I say right after that too? I didn't even give you a chance to respond, and I just told you Happy Father's Day.
you roasted me again. I was like, oh no, this guy's onto something. Yeah, let's see what you said.
I just said Happy Father's Day immediately after. Like, you had no... Because your dots went away, and then I said Happy Father's Day. And what are you going to say to that? You just said that's insane. Because that's all you could say.
It was insane. And you call me a grandpa, and then I said, bro talking about being young, but his hairline is making out with himself on its crown.
And then I sent 3 emojis in chronological order.
Yeah.
One of a straight face, one where the eyes are starting to water, and then one crying. So it's like chronological. Yeah,
but it was kind of whack that you kind of got me again, because then I felt bad immediately after that, and that's not even true. Like, I made fun of something that's not even like an issue that you deal with, and then you send back sad faces. So I'm gonna give you.
That's what I do, man.
If we're keeping score, that 5-minute text thread, I'm gonna give you a 1-0 on that one. That one was all you, and you crushed.
I'm glad you said that, because you also, right after the last episode came out, you sent me a screenshot. Because Kim gave props to us on something, and I feel like we need to settle the score on this because she gave you props to it, said it was the funniest thing you've ever done, but really, it was more of my idea, I'd say, the whole bleeping out where I'd get a piercing. And my idea, you're editing, and then where does it balance out idea versus execution in your mind?
Well, here's the thing is I didn't send you the rest of what I said to Kim, but I gave you credit on there. So now you just look like a bad guy for fishing for compliments for something I've already complimented you on. So what else do you want to hear?
Now you're turning it on me because we already planned to argue over this. We already planned to argue. It was going to be a bit that we argued over idea versus execution, and now you're trying to make me look like a bad guy.
Don't bring behind the
scenes.
Now
who looks bad now? Who looks bad?
Don't break the fourth wall on this show. People have come to expect something from us.
At most, there's 2 walls. This is an audio medium. There's one wall, that's audio, and then you're breaking the second wall in an audio medium.
No, that's a good point. We're not on stage.
And to be honest with you, we're already talking to the audience. So what are you talking about?
There's one wall. There's absolutely one wall, and there's actually an open dialogue. This is a great transition into leave comments on this episode on Spotify if you want to be featured in the next episode. You can interact with us directly, and you're welcome to it anytime. If someone called me right now, I would answer and put them on the podcast right now. You know, like there's no barrier to being on this show, and I think we've proven that time and time again that the bar is set very, very low.
Yeah, we just love any and every person on earth.
So, are we done with that topic? Do you want to move on to your last one?
Yeah, I think we're done with that. I have one more topic for us, and it is...
Bro, we absolutely cannot do that. I don't know what you thought you were going to get to say there and talk about, but that's not flying on this show. That's disgusting, actually.
Okay. We already know what...
Did I mishear you? Wait, did I mishear you? What did you say?
Yeah, you definitely misheard me, I think, because I'm just asking the audience what I should read next.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I might have misheard that one, and that one's I'm gonna wear that one. I'm sorry. 2-0 Tyler. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, so I have read quite a few books in the last couple of weeks.
Dude, you're such a dweeb. Oh, that's the worst line you've ever said on this show, and you've had some stinkers.
No. I hardly know her. So here's the thing. I'm halfway through my current book. I will be done in a couple days. And so here are the books that I own but have not read. I'm going to give you, there's 13 of them. I've owned but have not read. Bro, shut up.
Just get it. Okay, we get
shut
it.
Up.
They're gonna do something and tell you which one to read.
I'm giving you 13 of them. You narrowed down to 4 and we're putting that on a poll.
Oh, well, that's so much fun. Why did you not say it like that?
Bro, I was trying to, but you bleeped me out, and I know you did.
I can't
hear it yet, but I know you did.
It's my fault.
Yeah. Dude, you're just playing this character like you're all nice to me. But everybody knows behind the scenes, I'm abused.
No, you're not, bro. All you are is funny, dude. That's all you are to me. And a great friend. Sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Okay, give me 13 books.
All right. It by Stephen King.
Maybe.
The Institute by Stephen King.
No.
Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra.
You could have stopped reading earlier. The answer is no.
Okay. Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman.
Okay, I like that
Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Actually, I can't do that one just because I told someone I would read that with them.
Okay, I don't want that one anyways.
Okay. The Shining by Stephen King.
No.
I got a lot of Stephen King books.
Yeah, I can tell.
11/22/63 by Stephen King.
No.
Misery by Stephen King.
No.
That'll finish out the Stephen King books. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry.
No.
The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And Stoner by John Williams.
Okay, I've got my 4 picked. It's number 1, number 4, East of Eden, and the one that was 2 before East of Eden.
Number 1, number 4. Okay, so number 1 is it. Number 4 is Between Two Fires.
Yeah.
You want me to read Between Two Fires?
Yes. That was the one I liked.
East of Eden and Lonesome Dove.
Yes.
Okay, so you will put those 4 onto the poll, and the audience can vote on my next book.
Well, should we do it on Instagram? People will interact more on Instagram than on Spotify.
You know what? I think we should.
Okay. If you're listening to this, don't scroll down. Scroll down and leave a comment here so we can talk about it next week on Q&A. But now go to Instagram, click on the story. It'll be open. You all listen on Tuesday. I'm not naive to that. It'll be open from Tuesday to Wednesday. And let us know which book you want to read. Tyler can actually do that himself. He has access to the Instagram account too. So
now that I know that it's not going to be on that poll, I'll put those 4 if I'm limited to 4, but I might be able to put way more. So I might just put every book out there, like on my owned list. And if that's possible, I'll let it fly.
Yeah,
who knows?
Let it rip, man. You got it. Okay, great. That makes it less fun for me, and my choices now no longer matter if that's what you do. So
they never did.
I'm hoping you keep the 4.
Run,
I'm hoping you keep the 4 though. I'm hoping you keep
We'll
the
see
4
what happens.
pick.
We'll definitely see what happens.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, my last topic.
If I will say,
are we still on books? If we're still on books,
I'll just say on the formatting. I'm just gonna say if it lets me do all of them, I'll do all of them. I'll put your 4 at the top and say Matt's special picks, just so you feel a little better about yourself.
Thanks, man. My last topic is Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
You know the Bloomin' Onion's not Australian at all. The whole restaurant was just made. The whole restaurant was just made in Florida. There's nothing Australian about it.
I'm not shocked. I just remembered something. Dude.
What?
Dude, I just remembered something.
Okay, but you can tell me now.
Okay. It's not about Outback Steakhouse at all. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm actually done with the topic completely.
Okay, DJ X got a huge upgrade. Have you seen this?
That is crazy.
Dude, DJ X, also not from Australia, but this guy, man, let me tell you something. This guy's playing, he's still playing some of the same garbage, but a few songs here and there, he throws them like, okay, good job, DJ X. You haven't played this in a while or ever. And then somewhere in there, there's a setting you can turn on now to like have it pick up your voice, and so you can like Siri tap DJ X and say, "Hey, throw on something like this," and then he puts on a different vibe for you.
Okay.
So now has DJ X then just kind of become a new search function? Maybe some would say that maybe, but he at least you have the option to switch up the vibe.
No, that's sick. I want to believe you. We're gonna take a quick pause so we can get through DJ X. Riffing nonstop for 3 minutes while I try to get him to play one song. But when we come back, you're going to hear if he suggested something new to me or not. So here we go.
That's not what I said.
Good, Matt. Settle in. Your DJ X got you covered. Hey, did you know if there's ever something you want to hear, you can just tell me. Just press and hold down that DJ button at the bottom of your screen and start talking. Ask for a genre, a mood, an artist, whatever you want. Meantime, speaking of artists, here's the strike.
I'll be honest, that's exactly what I've been listening to. So it's
I never said that but then ask him something. Ask him something. Ask him for a vibe. Ask him for an end of podcast vibe.
DJ X, can I get an end of podcast type of vibe?
Type beat, if you will.
End of podcast vibe. Got it. Let me wrap things up with some chill tunes. All right, here's Vance Joy wrapping things up for you.
Vance Joy is chill tunes. All right, that's actually kind of cool.
This guy knows his stuff.
He wanted something chill because we're gonna be real chilled in this episode, because we're gonna have a chill Q&A. Everyone knows how to leave a comment. Now we've said it 8 times this episode, but if you want to leave a comment, we'll find it. Leave it on Spotify. Leave it on Instagram. Leave it on TikTok. Leave it anywhere. We'll find it and we'll talk to you. So, Kim came out of nowhere this week and asked a question. Kim wants to know, if you had to live as an insect for 24 hours, which insect would you be? And I think we can both be mature enough to just get the insect joke that we're both insects out of the way, and we can answer legitimately because we're chilled in this episode.
Deal. I'm down with that. I would easily be a spider.
Why is that?
You can crawl around. You got 8 legs. You got webs and stuff that you can spit out. You got a thorax. What, bro? What? Let me guess. What would you be?
Well, it's not that.
A mosquito?
It's not that. That was funny though. You're being very funny today. Your first reason to be a spider is you can crawl around. Known fact of all insects is they crawl around. Anyways, I would be an insect that doesn't crawl around.
That's not true.
Like a worm.
Are worms insects technically?
Yeah, they're insects technically. Learn something.
I'm about to.
Well, don't fact check me for sure.
No, worms are not insects. Insects are a specific class within the phylum Arthropoda, characterized by having 6 legs,
Oh.
3
no
body
way.
parts, head, thorax, abdomen.
Wait, you said
are spiders?
then.
Wait. No, they're arachnids, aren't they? Oh
They're not
no.
insects at all. We just
Turns out,
dude,
until we agree, you guys do not know insects.
dude, I gotta talk to Sea Dog more. I gotta expand my knowledge a little bit. That was crazy. That was embarrassing for
Well,
both of us.
May
Yeah.
I change my answer then? Because I believe I haven't actually answered the question.
No, I think it's okay. I think.
I haven't answered the question.
Well, you've wasted our time then.
May I please change?
I'll allow it. Yeah, just get it. Yeah, just get it over with.
I'm gonna go with maybe a B.
Oh,
I'm big on honey these
yeah,
days.
you're big on honey. You're big on honey. Dude, that's so
Get that
so
thorax,
good.
man.
Yeah,
Do
get
spiders
the
not have
thorax,
thorax?
man. Dude, you're too much this episode. Can I tell you something? I've been playing a character.
Spiders
this
do
whole
have a
episode.
thorax. though,
Hey,
so I know
I'm
some-
talking. I've been playing a character this whole episode. A person who thinks you're funny. Have you caught on to that yet? The audience
Yeah,
knew the
no,
whole time, but you didn't.
You told them?
Yeah, that was. Remember when I was on mute to start the episode?
No.
Dude, you're too funny. You're funny, man. All right. Well, I've
I've been playing a character too.
I've laughed enough for this episode.
I've been playing a character too, I said.
Why don't, okay. Who's your character?
I don't know. Dude.
All right. Hit it out.
Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Okay, now it's post credit. Pressure's a little bit lower. What character have you been playing?
Dude. I've been playing
Dude.
a guy. Let me. Dude.
You've been playing RFK if you had a normal voice.
Dude, the entire time.
Yeah,
yes.
that's correct.
I can't believe you didn't pick up that.
I know you. Okay. The
See you
end.
guys.